Hello there! Welcome back to another episode of Rule the Waves 2 as Great Britain. The year is 1907 and the world is finally at peace. We've begun construction of some new Dreadnought battleships, and we have our first battle cruiser underway, and we have a brand new design for our first Super Dreadnought, the Emperor of India, equipped with massive 14-inch guns. Of course, it is also ruinously expensive, so how we'll pay for it, I have no idea. But that is a concern for Parliament to answer, and we'll figure that out later. For now, let's take a quick review of our research. So, after reviewing the wiki on upcoming technologies, there is no significant developments in subdivision damage control for the next couple years. So I'm going to bump subdivision damage control down to low priority. At this point, our priorities are much more focused around long-term developments, such as armor development and hull construction, since that affects the long-term quality of the ships that we're building. So I'll bump both of those up to medium, and we'll worry about other developments such as armor-piercing projectiles, explosive shells, and such once we get closer to war, since those are much more easily incorporated into existing designs. We're going to continue focusing on machinery development, since that is always vital, and fire control. It'll be a long time before we see our next actual fire control system upgrade, but there are plenty of improvements along the way, so we're going to try and get as many of those as possible. And then, of course, fleet tactics, always important for additional control options. And then naval guns, we can never have too many of those. Alright, so that looks good. We've got our dock size building up. We need to get that much larger so we can actually afford to build ships with the appropriate protection that we want. Our current design, the Emperor of India, is not entirely the best protection with only 10 inches of armor belt, and I'm not quite satisfied with that. Alright, well, I believe we have reviewed everything that needs to be reviewed, so let's move on to our next turn. Alright, Germany is willing to sell us technological improvements, so sure, I accept. Alright, not a whole lot else to go on there. We already have new technologies and nothing else going on, so let's just move on to the next turn. And of course, Japan, it turns right around and offers to pay for the technology that we just purchased from Germany. So of course I will support them. By all means. Ah, they're playing with me. Quality 1 5-inch guns. Oh, those villains. Here I was hoping for quality 1 6-inch or maybe 4-inch. But they give me 5-inch instead. Oh well, I'll take it. Alright, well, let's build a couple new submarines now that we've had several significant developments. So we'll start construction on those and see what comes of it. Alright, on to our next turn. Industrial production is soaring, hey hey. And weight savings on machinery, that's potentially significant. We'll see what effects that may have on the Emperor of India in next turn. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of which, next turn. Alright, let's see about reworking the design. Okay, looks like that 1% weight savings was not significant in any way, shape, or form. Certainly not enough weight savings to be truly worth it. on second thought, that amount of spare weight is enough to pay for improved fire control eventually. So we can throw... Oh, hang on. So we can set it as is for right now. We'll take that improved machinery, one more month of saving up money, and then we can start construction. Alright, on to our next turn. Ooh! Well, that's significant. Our scientists are tantalizingly close to inventing destroyers of up to 900 tons. Not quite enough for proper, truly heavy firepower, but it's still very good. And that'll allow some very effective destroyers. Not torpedo boats, but proper destroyers at long last. Alright. Battleship Emperor of India is ready for construction. So let's lay one down. Alrighty. Our government is concerned about tensions leading to war. What do I recommend? Alright, well, we could call for a disarmament conference, but that would be a terrible idea given that we have some very big ships under construction. So let's take a quick look and see what we've got. So Germany well, America has 2 dreadnoughts in service, as do we. Our 2 are slightly larger than theirs, so we do have the advantage there, and we have far more under construction. So we certainly have the lead there. Let's take a look at the actual ship classes. So they have 2 ships with 13-inch guns and a 10.5-inch belt. I think we would have the advantage there, given our higher quality guns. It's probably more significant over their lighter belt. And they also have some battle cruisers. I wish I had some specs on those, but they won't be out until 1909. So we'll worry about that then. What about Germany? Alright, so Germany has some 18,000-ton dreadnoughts and a couple of battle cruisers. Interesting. But nothing significant there. Of course, we also have Russia probably building some 3-turret dreadnoughts as well. Alright. Well, given the conditions, I think war is most definitely an option. So if you want peace, arm for war. We should spend more on the Navy. Hoo-yah! And look at that, a little bit more tension. And we've almost paid for our new Dreadnought. Hooray! Alright. Next turn. Private ship building expanding. Max dock size increased by 500 tons. And we can also build destroyers up to 900 tons. Outstanding. I think we should immediately take advantage of this. Alright, let's see what kind of thing we can come up with. Alright, so we have a 90-ton ship, or 900-ton ship, 30 knots, coal-fired. Why would I want coal-fired for a destroyer? Obviously oil-fired, that's the only way to go. And cramped accommodations? No, I'd much rather have normal. Alright, and then they currently have 3 torpedoes, 3 4-inch guns. Let's see if we can put some 3-inch guns on there. And look at that. We're able to fit 4 3-inch guns on there as well. Outstanding. This is a very nice ship. I'm quite happy. We've got 3 main gun broadside plus some secondaries and 3 torpedoes. Let's see what they say about... Oh, too many centerline gun and torpedo mounts. Oh, that's a problem. Alright, well, let's see what we can do about that. We'll ditch a torpedo. Okay, so that's okay. Let's see if we can put some broadside torpedoes on. Port and starboard broadside. Well, it'll fit if I only have 2 3-inch guns. So the question is, do I go for the heavier gun armament or the heavier torpedo armament? While I certainly have seen some success with torpedoes, it's mostly been a matter of guns. So I'm going to ditch these broadside mounts, and we're going to stick with the heavier gun armament. That is overall a more significant consideration. Unless... what if I split up the amidships turret? Well, that does put me slightly overweight. What if I drop down to 29 knots? What about a speed priority? Well, that would certainly get me up to speed. What if... oh, here we go. That's an option. We'll go with a 1-2 arrangement. And then we'll put that midships turret on. And that gives me a 2-gun forward firepower. Very useful in the chase. And let's do a quick check. All okay. Outstanding. In fact, we may even have enough weight for an extra set of 3-inch guns. Quick check. Oh yeah, 2 heavy secondaries. Yep, can't do it. Well, darn. What about an extra knot? Nope, not quite. Let's take that and bump up our ammunition to 180. Fire control local only. Not much we can do with that. Alright, but we will call that... we will call that good. Let's get a better name for this. Oh, fine. Alright, we'll go with Stour-class. Alright. We'll start developing that. We'll be able to build these slowly over the next few years, just a few at a time. Alright. Next turn. Aha! We have now unlocked Scouting Force, a separate scouting force with cruisers and battle cruisers. How wonderful! Alright, and our design, the destroyer Stour, is ready for construction. So let's start building a few. I think we'll build 3 for now. Seems like a good enough investment. Where did those new cruisers come in? Alright, we'll put those on reserve. They'll have time to work up under the reserve. Alright, On to our next turn. A regional war seems imminent in the Balkans. Again? Wow, that place is always having troubles. One of our major arms manufacturers wants to step up exports to the likely belligerents. Well, a strong arms industry is a guarantee of our national security. We should sell to anyone who wants to buy. That'll give us more budget and more tension, both of which are good. Alright, and we've unlocked some additional weight saving. Fantastic. Looks like America is starting to get somewhat hostile. That is their fault. Alright, we'll start building some larger docks. Let's take a look at another cruiser. So if we were to build this ship now, how fast could we bump it up to? With a speed priority engine, we could not even squeeze out 24 knots. Alright, we'll just build another Flora class. Aha, HMS Doris. Outstanding name. Alright. We've got more bigger docks underway. We've got some destroyers, we've got some cruisers, and we've got our first Dreadnought class battleships rolling off the lines shortly. USA and France sign a treaty to contain British aggression. How dare they? A war with America I could stand. A war with both America and France would probably not go too well. Alright, so our dreadnoughts are commissioned, and Germany wants to buy a mechanical fire control computer. Well, if they want to fund my war, my potential aggression against America and France, they are welcome to it. And Germany has stolen technology and machinery development. Oh, how dare they! I should send a diplomatic note in the strongest possible language. Should also bump up the espionage against them. I'm sure they're stealing technology from us, but they're also developing all sorts of fantastic things on their own. So we'll see about stealing some of their technology. Alright, so we've got our dreadnoughts working up. We will put them into reserve fleet for now. Alright, and with this freed up budget, I think it's time to take a look at a new ship. I think the Emperor of India is going to be a one-off ship, but we do need more dreadnoughts, so let's see what kind of improvements we can come up with. So if we bump up to a 12-inch armor belt, which is what we really need. There we go. Are we able to build this within tolerances? Well, yes, we are. And given that 12-inch armor belt, that gives us much better protection. Alright, and now we need, I think this is an excellent design. We'll take it. And now we need a name. So far we've done an A, B, C, D, and E. Next up is an F. Alright, after checking the ship list, it looks like HMS Formidable is the name to go with. So we'll call this Formidable. We'll save the design and we'll start developing the much better protected ship. And in 4 months, we'll see where that stands. A spy from France has been discovered. Should give it maximum publicity and denounce the aggressive policies of France. How dare they? Should also start looking at possibly doing another battlecruiser design as well. So let's do a quick design review of that. Pull up a battlecruiser. We'll do an auto design. Why do they always do this? Such a terrible arrangement. And of course we have cross-deck firing, so it's not even useful. Well, this is a little bit better. Still not great. Again, they're forgetting the cross-deck firing feature, which is so important. Alright. Now obviously a battle cruiser is not intended to stand in the main line of battle, but it still needs good protection. So we'll drop that down to 12 inches. We'll ditch the starboard wing and we'll put down a aft starboard wing. There we go. We'll check that cross-deck fire. Alright. And we'll see what kind of protection we can squeeze out of this. And more speed. Must have more speed. Wouldn't be a proper battlecruiser without that. Alright, so we've got torpedo defense 1, speed 25 knots, range medium, engine priority normal. Let's put that armor belt at 10 inches. Deck 2.5. Oof, that was a lot of weight there. Turrets I'll bump up to 11. Secondaries do not need that heavy of protection. I don't think we can do much more than splinter protection for them. So we'll drop that down. But we can bump up their caliber. So we'll do the standard 12 and 12 secondary tertiary arrangement. So we've got 6 casemate secondaries and 6 turreted tertiaries along the sides. And that looks pretty good. 10-inch belt, not the best, but it's pretty good. Belt extended 4 inches, that's good protection against our 6-inch guns. And we're going to want to clear out these submerged torpedo mounts. Those are a known weakness. No longer relevant in capital ship design. Alright, we'll put that conning tower at the same level as our belt, per standard design theory. Alright. And at this point, let's see, anything else we can do? Nope, can't throw an extra knot on there. Alright, and we obviously need a very British name here. We've already done the Invincible-class, so let's go with the Indefatigable. Alright, so that's a good design. We have weight remaining though, so let's bump up our ammunition to 120 rounds per gun. There we go. A little bit of extra weight. Alright, and I think we'll call that a good design. So we'll save that and start developing. And between those two ships, that should handle our current budget surplus quite nicely. Oh, actually, I think we have some redesigns to do on both of those ships. Very significant redesigns. With 4 centerline turrets, that is significant, both in terms of weight savings and in terms of effectiveness. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to revisit that design for the Formidable-class and the Indefatigable. Both of those will need to be revised. Also, though, I think it is worth taking a moment to... we're not going to incorporate any improved guns right now. It's not the time yet. Alrighty, so, this is interesting. I am due to hold a speech at the annual gathering of the Navy League. What shall be the topic of my speech? Well, we could say that the seas should be kept peaceful for the prosperity of all nations, which is negative budget, negative prestige, and negative tension. That's not so good. That is contrary to everyone's interests. Prepared to safeguard the interests of our nation against any threat that may arise, which is budget and prestige. No, straight tension. Which does indirectly contribute to budget, so that's good. Or we can specifically point fingers at people, giving us budget, prestige, and quite a bit of tension. Let's check the almanac right now. Alright, so America does have a few dreadnoughts. France also has a few dreadnoughts. We handily outnumber both of them. The concern, though, is that if we go to war, America will probably be threatening to invade our colonies overseas, and that would not go well. But it's a risk I'm willing to take, because we currently outnumber them 6 dreadnoughts to 4, so we'll take it. The freedom of the seas is threatened by the imperialistic ambitions of the USA. How dare they? Aha, and we're still only at tensions level 9. Very good. And oh, look at all that monthly balance that we've freed up. I think I'll actually allow these dreadnoughts to work up, so we have something ready just in case. Once they get up to fair quality, we can see about standardizing things. Alright. One more turn and then we can completely redesign the Formidable-class. Our security agreement with Japan has expired. That's not so good. Alright, we definitely need to rework the design of the Formidable here. So let's take a look. Alright, with this advent of 4 centerline turrets, the wing turret is now obsolete. So we will take these and clear them off. We can unselect that. And we're going to put a midships turret. So let's see where that works out. What about that? Yeah, we'll clear that off for now. We'll put that where it is. And we'll push the smokestacks off by just a little bit. So take that. We'll plop that right there. And we'll take this one and we'll push it further forward. Too far. Actually, could we put... No. We could put it up here, though. Just have a extra thick set of smokestacks. There we go. Couple of smokestacks there. We'll throw a third one back here. All right, and that looks good. Got a full 8-gun broadside, very nice. And look at all the tonnage we have saved, over 2,000 tons, or almost 2,000 tons, which we could convert into additional guns, or much more likely, we'll convert into weight savings. So we'll drop that down. Yeah, look at that. 28,000 tons even. And we can slap on some extra secondaries. Or, could we bump up the secondary armor? 2.5 inches, not great. We'll stick with 2 and we'll throw on extra guns. There we go. Alright, and we shall take that. It's a complete redesign, but it is worth it. Alright, and next turn we're going to do the same thing to this Indefatigable-class. Alright, so we'll rework the Indefatigable. And just like the other ship, we're going to drop the wing turrets. So delete that, and we'll put a nice round Q turret right in the middle. Alright, and this ship definitely should have 3 smokestacks. There we go, we'll put one there, put one there, and then we'll put one right back there. There we go, very nice looking battle cruiser. Alright, and just like the other one, massive weight savings by ditching those wing turrets. And we're maintaining essentially the same strength of broadside. I approve. Alright, what should we do with this weight savings? Well, we could bump up our protection. We could bump up our secondaries, but I think, just like before, we're going to save on overall displacement and therefore cost. So at a 25,000 ton ship, I think that's a little bit more reasonable. And let's see, what can I do with that? Extra tonnage, can we throw on an extra gun? Nope, just barely not. We can throw on some extra secondaries, or tertiaries, there we go. What about armor protection? Alright, these battle cruisers are much more likely to come up against enemy destroyers and light cruisers, so having these tertiaries is going to be helpful. Yeah, we'll keep those numbers up nice and high. Alright, and we'll save that. And another 4 months of design development, but it is totally worth it. And with the Invincible coming out of the yards soon, we'll be able to lay down 2 of the Formidable-class. Outstanding. Alrighty, a world cruise for our young cadets is planned. What ships should take part? Well, we could send some of our newest and most powerful ships. Maybe some average ships, or some of our oldest ships. Well, in a choice between bumping up tensions and kicking off the war, or sending out some older ships to get budget, well, that's a tough choice. So if we were to kick off the war right now, we currently outnumber France and the USA in terms of dreadnoughts. However, if we were to try and actually fight, I would still need to keep most of my pre-dreadnoughts at home to blockade France. So I wouldn't have very many ships to fight the US with. So that is not so great. Of course, France is absolutely reeling from previous losses to their armored cruisers and protected cruisers, but America still has plenty of them. So hopefully our battle cruisers would see a fair bit of use there. Okay. Well, let's go for it. We'll send some of our newest and most powerful ships. It's a matter of pride, after all. Oh, we're currently working on double torpedo mount. Well, that's big. Alright. It's time to build some more destroyers. I forgot to order more of those when I had the chance. So we'll order another 4 destroyers. Continue expanding that Stour class for now. And we will downgrade these two to reserve fleet. But we can spend a little bit of time on active to bump these guys up. So hopefully they're ready. Alrighty. Oh, next turn. Oh my goodness, we just unlocked 15-inch guns. Oh, that is significant. They're only quality -1, but that is very much a almost endgame caliber of gun. I could certainly see ships with that lasting to the very end of the game. So any ships after this, 15-inch guns. That's the size to build. I am not, however, redesigning the Formidable again. I need ships under construction, and I need them now. Alright, a change of government in Germany has the potential to reduce tensions between our nations. I was asked a comment by a newspaper. Well, we could reduce tensions and budget. We could just reduce tension. Or we could blame Germany and say that they are a threat to world peace and stability. As much fun as that sounds, I think we will try and reduce tensions with Germany, because I do not want to fight them right now. And it looks like we're getting some potential developments in high explosive shells. Alright, Formidable is ready for construction. We'll take a quick check. Everything looks good. So we're going to order these. So 2 Formidable-class battleships. Formidable and illustrious. Outstanding. And it looks like we'll have enough money for Indefatigable, and also we could order some additional Flora class. So let's order a couple more cruisers as well. Alright, get some of those along the way. Alright, next turn. Alright, our battle cruiser is ready for construction. So let's start it. That's strange. I appreciate the other I-boat names, but the lead ship of the class should be named after the class name. Uh-oh, ship name already in use. What ship is using this name? I don't see any ships. Oh, here we go. It's a Comus-class. Oh, we can't have that. So we're going to have to rename this ship. Oh, we're not going to call this the Indefatigable. We're going to call it the Gallant. There we go. Properly renamed, and now we can build our Indefatigable. Alright, we've got that underway. We have destroyers under construction, we have cruisers under construction, and we have a nice clutch of dreadnoughts building up. Outstanding. And it looks like USA is starting to get tense. Well, that's not so good. I think it's time to start standing up our dreadnoughts. So we're going to active fleet those. We're going to active fleet the Hood. It's going to be expensive, but I bet war comes fairly quickly. We're going to reserve fleet the rest of our armored cruisers. We'll take our other cruisers, the Floras and the Intrepids. Actually, they're already in reserve fleet, so we'll just active the Floras, since those are the ones most likely to get sent overseas. And we'll take the Hermiones as well. No, actually we shouldn't. Should take the Intrepids. So we'll active fleet those as well. That should be plenty enough escorts. And I think we need to stand up all of the Jed-class destroyers as well. Whew, that's not cheap. There's so many of them. And we'll reserve the Derwent class. We'll keep those at home, and we can send the Jeds and the Stowers overseas. Alright, let's see. How are things looking over here? So we don't really have any ships over here right now. What kind of defenses do we have? So we've got a 290 base capacity. Up there, and then down here we have a 225 base capacity. And none of that is great. And all of these territories are vulnerable. Whether it's New Providence, Jamaica, even Trinidad, all vulnerable to invasion. That is not good. What kind of defenses do we have here? New Brunswick and Nova Scotia should have things already. Yeah, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick both have a 6-inch coastal battery. Jamaica and Trinidad both have one. Yeah, we're going to want to build some more though. Alright, so we are going to build an additional 6-inch battery in Nova Scotia. And then we go back and we're going to build another one in New Brunswick. There we go. There we go. I'm not too worried about Grand Bahama, but New Providence could definitely use some. So we'll throw a 6-inch battery there. And Jamaica could also use one. There we go. And then Trinidad as well. Another 6-inch battery there. And then, oof, that's not going to be cheap. And then our base capacity. Let's see, we definitely want to do better there. Alright, let's see. So Nova Scotia, definitely improvable. So we'll bump that up. New Brunswick, definitely improvable. We'll bump that up. I expect a good 20 base capacity from each of those. Newfoundland, I'm not so sure about that. Bermuda, that one's worth upping. That's probably going to go up by another 20. And let's see what we have down here. Grand Bahama, essentially nothing. If I upgrade that, I'll only get 5. New Providence would probably be good. Oh, I don't want the Caribbean. I want to see Jamaica. There we go. Yeah, Jamaica would definitely benefit. So we'll spend some on there. New Providence, we'll spend some there. And Trinidad, yeah, we'll spend some down there as well. Alright, so we will have to send ships overseas in order to defend. We're definitely going to have to send some Dreadnoughts overseas. And it'll probably end up being off the North American East Coast. Once again. I've had some very big fights off the North American East Coast in previous games. So definitely seems to be a hot spot in Rule the Waves 2. That and the Caribbean. Both of those places will be hot. We'll see where America sends their fleet. Right now, it appears to be the North American East Coast. So we shall see. Alright. With that, though, I think we will call this episode to a close. Until next time, Katori87, signing out.